Hello, hello. Oh, not sure why that extra registration happened. It's being a little bit silly tonight. There was some stuff I wanted to do some troubleshooting on, but I was not feeling up to it. Night curl. Harrison. So either way, Pa's going to be doing a very chill stream by camp. Alright, I'm just gonna go ahead and reset this again. It's being very odd. It runs slightly different every day. Wish I could get it more consistent. Buddy will just have to make do. Are you kidding me, really? Okay. I think it's leveling out. There's still something I want to debug here, if you'll give me a second. It isn't registering speaking when there is absolutely nothing going on. It's going to fill up the log, but I'm going to have to do some deep bugs. How are you tonight, Shinny? Found the bug, I think. Double equals instead of exclamation equals. But yeah, I feel that my neck has been killing me. Something as well with my eyes, I'm unsure what. It's possibly allergies. Possibly something up my spine. I definitely have not a good one. Something with my posture is really not good. I tried to straighten it if I can, but category some permanent damage. It's not been checked out, but you know, kind of expensive to have that done. I'm just trying to rely on massages and stuff. And I'm doing more live code bug fixing. At least you've got jams to listen to while I do this. Hey cyborg. Hey doc. I'm just trying to do a little bit of debugging real quick, but it is being a bit annoying. One error just terrorizes me. I have been chasing this error down forever, and it will not go away. It's the root of a lot of recognition issues. It may fix some stuff. hard to say, however. Okay, there's a lot weird going on, one sec. And there's no worry, Doc. What on earth is this error? Doc will instill into his nephew the secrets to being highly efficient. My apologies again for the delay. This is stuff I should be doing offline. Alright, we'll see if this does something now. It's still doing the same problem. Stabilized for the moment. We'll just go with it. Okay, give me a second to get the game set up. I wish it was just going to act more sensible. I've got it logging in. Cyborg and Dark, have you been good tonight? And do not ask Egg about years of state of being. I'm asking about your behavior. Ghastly. Obviously. This thing is still going to be weird on me. Duck. You forget that I am the mayor of Grinch City. We do not do presents. Well, presents delivered by a strange old then, flying in carriages and sleighs. Final raise the budget for research then. I will get back to that at some point. I have just been very busy. So it's just been a matter of have not had the time to do any midweek streams, midday streams. Alright, let me go over to Is it rendering? Come on now. I'm sure you can hear the sounds. but the window itself is not showing, which is very annoying. Game capture does not work half the time. Area. Window capture to the rescue again. So anyway, here's Final Fantasy XI. I'm just trying to grind levels to work and catching my paladin. Job up to pace. Vanquish undead, I know where to go for that. So I'm just going to rest for a second, and we might end up going back into caves and smacking skeletons for a while. But then we'll try and see if we can explore a little bit else. So this has been my complete pure solo character so far. This game is not very easy to solo, as it was meant for groups. But certain jobs can do it. Red Mage is one of the best of that. But you do need to pick a supporting job, or a main job that can keep you alive. Also do let me know about the audio balance, this game is loud. This was the first MMO. You also get to see my pain in action. My internet pain. It's very noticeable. But we're still on the lower level, so auto attack gameplay is kind of how it goes. So this is going to be a lot of slow vibes kind of stream. Given that this is an old game that was made at the time dial-up was standard, it's pretty playable. Think that guy pulled, yeah. Well, if he wants to die too. Now given my connection, there's a few things that are hard to do. Like some spell interrupts and things like that. But generally I shouldn't need those. Yeah, that I can see the audio during combat is a little bit loud, I would say, so I'll turn it down a little bit more. In mind I do not hear this the way you do. I think I'm gonna go back to the single window. At the bottom I'm not sure, I'm not much of a fan of the split window. This is another one of those games that if you have questions, I can answer some stuff. I'm far from an expert in this though. We'll be in here long enough to complete the daily one time. I have played a decent bit of it. Up until about level 45. Cap is 99, but there is also like prestige levels. I play this very slow with no intent of seeing like the big end game, because I want to see all the old content. 45 sounds like a lot, but that's not actually high enough to be beyond even enter the first expansion. It's hard to pull off casting combat at this level. There's one level for tonight. Time it would take to get the 45. If you're playing this optimally using the ad partners that are now available. I think you get the 45, and it's like a dozen or so hours. I'm just playing this game in a particularly slow method. Alright, we've pulled some extras. Luckily we out-level these guys slightly. That said 3 skeletons is alliance. Holy Circle is helping us a light here. Benefits of being a paladin fighting undead. I can also move my subtitles box somewhere, if it's more visible of the gameplay text box. Selling this many enemies at once is a pretty good job on our part. I mean, they're not particularly tall, like I said. I can set it up here maybe. That feels a little cluttered though. It's always difficult. Hey Gail. You're correct, Duck. That is the expected position. I think that is the best advantage of it being there. I'm doing relatively okay tonight and just not feeling in best of health. It's nothing serious though. Getting the hangout on stream helps a lot. What gamble are you playing, Shimmy? I'm just going to go over here and rest for a second. This is the slow part of these images. As especially these really old ones were kinda meant to have a sort of chatroom aspect to them. So having moments with downtime was kind of intentional. That, and the internet connection at the time, at least at average, was not strong enough to be able to handle much more. But yay, chatting with other players. These games are definitely vibe games, until you get like tough, really high level content. Only reason why I'm bothering to cast the magic is I'm trying to work on my skill for it. There'll be some useful stuff that comes later. And this is the most opportune enemy to use it on. I mean, that said, I can also use healing magic to damage these guys. Right, 8 at 20, we're getting there. I was really just in the mood to play this a little bit. In a way, I'm trying to get some of the weirder small stream ideas done now. Because I know I'll have my hands full once the debut happens. "91 mana should be fine." After be at full ability to fight these guys. I don't have to be. Has Shinny been taken by the gotcha? Cause that's what it sounds like to me. I do hope you start feeling better soon, Theo. Oh wait, are you still in poker night at the inventory? Yeah. I didn't mean to pull that guy, but I can really put out the damage fast if I have to. Mana to cast the spells is just kind of an issue. Thing is, when it comes to deciding what's on, that'll be streaming next is. Oh, you're wondering I'm resting to regain mana. It can move myself right here so you can see my old bar and stuff. I was just putting on some music so it wasn't complete silence. This is the cheapest way to regain mana. There would be some spells and abilities you could use to regain some during combat, but I'm too low level for that. So this is how you know this is an old multiplayer game. When you have a rest button, that makes you sit down and do nothing. But yeah, I still have some stuff I would like to stream sometime. But there are other kind of difficult to figure out how I would do that. Or I feel like I want to wait until I have the model running. Which should hopefully be soon. I'm still just trying to finish a few things. It's work that I could have gotten done over a month ago. A weekly. Every time that happens I say he weekly, but it always comes out of a weekly. Yeah, they're going to probably start calling on me here. Luckily it doesn't matter if I sun out. I think it's only one guy, but I do not have the stats. Skeletons, like most undead in this game, will pull aggro based on low. That's the general idea, Gale. They're out to get you. Make you one of them. Of course, that's also on stuff like tigers and things too. There's a jungle zone and the tigers in that zone seem to pull very far. That noise is cicada. Do you hear that coming through, or is it like? Either way, back and we go. Who knows what it is? Ambient bug. I could have been a bird, possibly. Well, that was an outside sun there. I left the caves briefly too. Was the aggro off the skeleton? While we were only 1 kill away from a level. When it comes to notifications, I really feel the pressure to clear them, like an oak thick thing. When it comes to messages in general, it depends on whether or not it's someone I know, I guess. I used to have notification sounds muted before. I have them audible now, but I suppose it just depends on who it is. I mean, I could understand that feeling really. It's a lot sometimes to have to come and try up with the message. But you know, like Duck says, if I can't make a response, I'll just have to give it a little bit, or I'll say that I can't. And that'll get back to it. I mean, you see me doing this, but the reality is I am kind of a reclusive person. Oh, there goes the siren. A weighted can. Complete our goal already. We completed the goal that we were looking to do, or we could stick around here and hit more skeletons for a while. Or I can go find somewhere better to be. I'm only 22, so there's not too many other good spots for undead. There are places with music in this game, by the way. This is just not one of them. Alright, Ribble, fight here. Indicate this guy in front of me. generally not a great thing to have happening. I'm gonna run this guy up the cave a little bit so that it don't get more ambushing me. Oh right, see a dog, thank you for stopping by. Financial dog. Well, it shouldn't take us too much longer to take out a few more skeletons. Something I still haven't figured out what to do, is what I'll do to the channel points after the debut. Because I haven't ever truly been that happy with how they work. Nice to have around. But they don't really do that much, and they don't accomplish what I initially set out for them to do. And yeah, we've got some 418 going on here. Don't know if it's going to get me copyright claimed, but it makes for some nice of waiting around music. Yeah, it should be fine. Thing with the channel points is I kind of wanted them to. Oh, as for the copyright strikes usually happens on YouTube. Without any significant consequence, so far. On Twitch, if it picks up stuff it thinks is copyrighted, it just mutes the VOD on here. But I don't think that transfers the weighty vibe. I don't know. Haven't actually checked, I'll be honest. Cause a lot of the YouTube reports say that there is copyrighted material, but the owner will not claim it. We typically find but then there's Universal Music Group that likes to randomly send its ad to copyright claim my stuff. And the skeleton is gone. Oh, I thought wood killed it. Butter, back to the topic I was on. I've wanted the channel points to be more of a community-driven thing. To have incentive for people to come together to pull their points to purchase stuff. Kind of like an experimental socialism. That said, maybe the best way to do it simply refer stuff to be free. That is the most socialist option. Yeah, the Benzema was actually originally meant to be locked behind a command. Buns emote. And that you would have to pull together points to unlock it for the next stream. But that doesn't really work when you've got a lot of people sitting around to already have piles of points. And at this point, the joke with buns, I couldn't put that behind a price at this point. When you see buns, you post buns, that's the rules. And for the most part, any other concepts I had for making use the points never really did that much in practice. To a certain degree, the presence of the channel points is almost kind of attempting to force interaction. And I would like the interaction to be more organic. I mean, really my end goal, I think, is to just have enough chatter going on about things that I like. No stuff I can mutually discuss. Generally the game I'm playing, I suppose. But regardless, enough going on that I don't have to try and fill space. And that's not to say that I don't mind how it works right now. I'm just sometimes at a loss for words. Absolutely do not take that as pressure to talk more. Forced conversation isn't nearly as good as natural conversation. I mean, do you say that shimmy that we have a more than a few interests that are shared? And I mean, just last night, I was having to tell you that you can yap. Like if I am playing Yu-Gi-Oh and you wanna yap about Yu-Gi, then just do it, that's on topic. But that's generally the thing, I'm not good at conversation. I am terrible at small talk. I suppose I picked this up in part to get better at small talk. I dunno, it's hard to say. Because I feel like the balance with blue reflection will probably be different. It'll almost be like the original Fire Emblem streams. At least that's the current plan. Where I don't talk while there's cutscenes going on. And if I do chat, I'll probably be doing it in the actual Twitch chat. I don't know if that's the correct balance. I'm really trying to find that balance. And I'm not exactly sure what to do. I want to recreate the vibe of just one person's playing the game, sitting on the couch, and everyone else is watching. But I also kind of like having a let's play vibe, slightly informational. Yeah, I'm talking about audio balancing. I'm talking about the balancing of me talking and the content of the game. It's just hard to discover how much is too much talking on my part, too little talking on my part. As I don't know in my sight if I hit that vibe yet. If I was still doing a Fire Emblem playthrough, I would know. But I ran into a secondary issue on that, of it requiring too much mental taxing to play the game itself. Alright, we've slapped enough skeletons. Also, I left the music up, I apologize. For level 23, the dunes is probably a good place to be. There might be other spots to be, I think. I can go to the jungle. See what's headed out there. It's not really a jungle, but I call it that because of the name. It's more of a marshland. Let me look up what enemies are around. For me, talking all the time is not easy. Especially given the limitations of what I'm working with right here in vocalization. But I don't want to be talking over these games if I enjoy them. So it's just a tricky situation of figuring out how much do I need to talk. And the lake. Enemies here are roughly around our level. Marshlands might be a good pick. I mean, if it's something that I am interested in, then I don't mind at all yapping for a long time. I just don't want to talk over stuff. I suppose it'd be okay to go to the marshlands, or Battalion Downs maybe. Yeah, let's just run to Battalion Downs. There's some stuff that's a little high level there, but it should be survivable. If you want to go to the marshlands, it's probably better off for us. Okay, that record of eminence is incredibly easy. So we can just kind of go anywhere for that. There is a chance of finding a good bow in this one, so that's what we'll do. Gotta think ahead. Alright, we're probably looking for crawlers and the thread leeches. That would probably be the most accessible one to do. Okay, we're looking to field manual. This is another form of thing right here. Actually, let's do this one. We're more in the level range for that. Alright, before we do anything, let's go ahead and vote. This game has a lot of dynamic weather, so this place just happens to be foggy at the moment. Only thing I have to say about marshes is that in the real world they're terrible. It is Mosquito and Bugpalooza. There is some very weird looking bugs. A temporary treasure chest. Okay, here's some nice free stuff. So I have to figure out where the enemies are here. Because I don't have the best knowledge of this region. Fungus is probably in one of these back corridors. I think this is where the turtle gays are mostly at. Dear empty back here. Yeah, I know at this point we're getting kind of close to that zone, and I want to get near there, cause I know there's a high level monster that will run us over. These are angry turtle warrior gays. They will kind of hurt. I would fight them if it was useful to me at all when it comes to the training region. But at the moment it's not. Training regime. Thunderstorm is nice though. Adds a lot of ambience. Oh, I was misreading your message there, Odd. No. They are parts of the monster tribe people. And they are hostile to the rest of humanity. Since there's a whole thing with a dark lord trying to take over the world again. Crawlers seem really randomly spread out. Oh, I made a mistake. Yeah, we're going to die. Forgot they were close enough to the elemental. Alright, I'm going to just take the death. Elementals attack if you cast in range. Well, that happened. It's really far away, so it's expensive to go back that way. Everything single, but annoyingly spaced there. We'll try to go to Battalion, I think. I don't remember if this place has music or not, but we'll check it out. This here is the center point, neutral city. By around the time your level 30 starts spending a lot of time here, at least in my experience. Okay, is their home crystal. I consider responder right here. That way, if we die off this way, we have a very fast return. There is music here. Generally, you have music in zones that are adjacent to a main city. I don't think that's always the case though. We are looking for the first one. There should be some nicer grinding cause we've got the music to roll to. Critical and critical. I don't think there's much I can do for my weapon at the moment. Nothing that would be better than I have, I think. I'll look it up though. A shield bash into Q2 is a really nice combo. Yeah, that's a nicer experience there. There are some swords we could pick up. Okay, we do actually have better ones that are inventory. Very soon we can also put on some pretty good gear. We'll try and stay away from the goblins. It can be very annoyingly aggressive. Blind getting resisted is annoying, it doesn't seem to work on anything. Alright, see you Subaru. Yeah, these are definitely some tougher fight. That level up was nicely timed though. Silent powder and silent oil, that's pretty good. That's both invisible to sight and invisible to motion, if I need it. but yeah, our build works pretty well. Paladin just happens to be kind of tanky. And having all of the backup support of red main spells. Oh boy, there's a tiger over there. I'm gonna start trying to larry this way. Yeah, that goblin's coming for me too, I think. Man, I try and sneak in a cure if I can. No, it's not going to work. Alright, the plan is to immediately flat blade this guy. Get stunned. Sliver off, I'm going to be honest. Yup, we're going to need to run for this. Always still, Garmin. Alright, we got away. Wanna hear and heal for a second? This game is very much a sit and chill and talk kind of game. Not a huge amount of stuff to talk about with the game itself. I'm just examining how a level 17 Manger Gore drops a level 25 sword. Like I said, there's no pressure to talk really. And yeah, I've been reading a new Yuri. It's called K-san. Or at least it's a collection called that. Because it was originally intended to be a one-shot. But then they wanted another one cause the first one did really well, and then they wanted another one, and then another one. A manga, and eventually I think it got serialized as a proper. Oh right, bird, this isn't your fight. Don't mess with me. Yeah, I've been reading, and it's very cute. It's very wholesome stuff. Yeah, when you read the first few you understand why it goes so long its peak. Or at least it's very good. Art is super charming. Rather than trying to be like highly consistent, it focuses on taking advantage of being able to be highly expressive. Which also is a lot of funny reaction images from that. I found some other ones too, that I'll read sometime, but I just haven't had much chance. I'm glad folks do like the chat across the top. It wasn't too hard to set up. Line to Stream has a lot of good free plugins and setups. Alright, that's all of the saplings. Well, just to sit over here for a second. May go away from the bird flapping very loudly. This is one of those situations where having a healing spell is very nice. Cause I can just stand up and fill in the rest of her gap. Okay, so that was our saplings done. We just have to kill 2 of the birds. Should be easily done. I mean, Doc is very chatty, yeah. And that's quite appreciated. Okay, this guy is really starting to hurt. Yeah, that might be it for us. Okay, these guys are tough. Lesson learned. I mean, I like anyone being chatty as long as you know, good conversation. If you don't have much to say, then as a person who normally struggles to have stuff to say, it would be incredibly hypocritical of me to judge you for that. You are very welcome to just 5 and lurk. Okay, what is the difficulty on this bird have? It's a tough rating which we might be able to do. This is not going to be easy though. If the blind would land at the view, very nice. It feels like it never hits. Oh, you're kidding me, really? Sty hurts alive. He barely stunned. No luck. Yeah, this is not looking great for us, and being able to do this challenge at the moment. Because I can't get a single spell in. Okay, that's one. Orange is slightly more. Oh, you're kidding me, come on. We're just going to use invincible, let's go. The fact that we need our hourly to fight this guy is not a great sign. That was a lucky shield bash. I think we go for Red Lotus Blade. I just have to hope that the sky starts going down soon. Come on. He'll got through. This is way closer than it needs to be. Yikes. Might be a little bit over our head here. If I didn't have so much pain, I can maybe time the heals a little bit better. We're going to be healing for a little while. Such is the case when you get within an inch of your life. I'll give you a nice cinematic camera rotation. Yeah, it would be an average Tuesday, if it wasn't in fact Monday. In some places doctors still Sunday for me. I should be eating food, I have some on me. I keep forgetting that I do. The increase isn't that much. Do I not have rice balls? I should probably go get those. Better than using up my snow cones. Luckily we can buy those right here. We just have to go visit the Yakuza front. Believe it's lower. Yup, said I'm looking for Neptune's spire. I do like this place a lot. Those are expensive. I'm just going to take the rice balls. They don't last too long, but they should give us some extra defense to help survive some of this comeback. I can check and see if there's a better sword available for us at the moment. I do actually have a good pair of fist weapons, but I'd have to build the skill. Which that would be an entirely different detour. It is not something I want to be doing against these higher level enemies. That'd be a nice weapon later. This is actually story I was looking at earlier. I mean, it's pretty decent. We'll see if it's on sale for 5,000. Bidding system in this game is really weird. It's probably on price for 20,000. But I can hope you know. Oh, hey. There's only about 10,000. Well, we can use that soonish maybe. Unfortunately, our money is now very funny. I have an answer to that. Luckily I have enough money to just make it back to home. Why to do a small little detour here? So what we're going to do is that these sell gear. For players that are leveling. Based off of a secondary currency earned from doing the little lake daily that I was doing. And that shield right there has the highest sell price. And so if you don't particularly need those spark currencies, well, now we're up to 50,000. One more level would put us in good shape too. I could save a little bit of money if I used my warp ring, but it didn't feel like it. Crystal teleport market's getting money off me for inconvenience. Old manager gear for a second in here. So we'll take our new sword. Stick that on in there. Up will put it in wardrobe 1, I think. We'll figure out organization later. Kind of a mess up in here. With that done, we just need to gain a few thousand more experience points. But also at 25 we happen to have this right here. A pair of rare fist weapons, which I can actually use on Paladin and Red Mage. Paralysis may help us. Though I have no idea how reliable some of the bonuses are. On gear. We shall warp back. Thank you, camera, that was very nice. Let's see if the rice ball defense gives us a little bit of an edge. I don't feel like the 1 dex loss will matter as much as the plus 50 defense will. Gotta get that heal in early. We've wanted before we take so much damage that we need it directly. It seems like we're taking a few points less damage. So this might be working out in our favor. I'm going to try and time this out with my lag. No. That's one off. I'm going to have to get a few if I want to survive this. Good one. This is kind of the thing where soloing is difficult. You're not rude. Going to survive this if you don't have healing, that's why you would have a normal party. Come on. Were you close? forgot a little bit luckier, he would have had it. It may be beneficial for us to go into this fight with some. For me, cause if I can just get one level, it would do a lot for. So what I'm gonna do, I'm going to do this fight without using my weapon skills. So I can bring in 3,000 for the bird. And hopefully have a better head start on it. Oh. So, weekly. Thank you for stopping by. Oh hey, treasure chest time for lockpicking mini game for the first time tonight. So this works as a very simple cipher. You get a number of chances and you can spend those chances on getting hints. Less than 33, so we'll put in 14. It's 32. Studded boots needs. Cool, I guess. See, back in the day before the sparks, this would have been a crazy drop. But I don't know which one of these came first. Treasure chests or if the spark's mechanic, or if they came at the same time. It wasn't around for any of this. We'll sit down for a second. $2,000 isn't exactly as much as I was hoping for. But it might be enough to give us the head start that we need. Flat blade does a stun, but the stun's always so sure it does so little damage that I think we need the damage. Do it anyways. I don't think it really matters having maximum for this but all. Array buffers on. Probably the best thing to do is to put poison on it because that seems to do a lot more. I don't think Theo and poison work together, as far as I'm aware. We'll see if I can get up to 3,000 here. Over wasn't too late on that cure. It'll work. That puts us way ahead on the health bar. Of course, we are falling behind. Ouch! It's not great for us. Alright, one heal ring. Shield bash go. Alright, I think we got this one. It's going to be very close, but we're good. Was that not what we were hunting? I think I've been on an incorrect side quest here. I'm sufficiently supposed to be fighting Latras, not Buzz. Yeah, if I was watching the log any amount of time, that would probably be a little bit better, and I would have noticed this earlier, but it was a worthy challenge. This is my favorite kind of challenge in these games. Having to win a fight that is against all odds. Alright, I can actually put on a better shield here. Now it absolutely destroys our agility. Don't know if that's going to be a bad thing for us. We've mostly just been trying to fight some stuff. Good morning, by the way. I was fighting the saplings, we did a good job there. And then I mistakenly thought we had to fight the birds. Of which we eventually did manage to kill 2 of them, although it has some very intense battles. That said, even if it was not the side quests we were on, I do enjoy. When you get to find those really difficult challenges in rocks, or it's a puzzle of your resources to figure out how to fight it. I'm looking for some flies. Mayflies. I don't know where they spawn though. That's a pet dragonfly. I need to kill them. It's part of her training regimen to try, and gets a little bit of extra experience points. We'll run this way, and see what's out this way. Don't want to fight the tigers. This place is a kind of a neat mood at sunset. Alright, animated weapons, don't want to deal with those. Funny enough, those are actually the weapon that we're building right now. Kaiser's sword that I'm using drops off those. I guess we'll just go ahead and fight more saplings, instead of waste too much time running around. Still drought experience points. These still drop pretty good experience points. Big mark we're trying to reach is 25. If I can get to 25, then that would give me a lot of leeway on the gear I can use. Tricky question whether or not is to stick his red mage primary or paladin primary. It's probably going to be paladin primary. As once it gets sentinel at level 30, it should give me a pretty good bonus to my survivability. As well as the shield mastery that I'll get at 25. It looks like we're going to have to take a long road to try and get towards the forest, maybe. And that might be where the flies were rats. Where they are. do not like the enemies over here. Yeah, it's not looking great for my intention. I'll slip through here. I'll see if the wiki has a good location for the flies, but it's hard to find exact monster locations on the wiki. I do know that you can zone into some of these mounds if required. So if I pull one of these tigers unexpectedly, I can try and duck into one of those. Ah, here we are. I've rest up for a second. Get a little bit of mana back. Incredibly loud bird. And it seems like a weird design choice, and it is an archaic one. It is possible to gain access to some weapon skills that will drain mana, and I think Black Mage has a spell to do so, as well as Blue Mage. Blue Mage. But this game was designed in an era for when these multiplayer games were meant to be very slow. So early on in the life of having a weapon, no drain or anything on it. You would simply just rest. There would normally be a lot more chatter going on if this was lived like it was back in the day. I mean, you can see all the downtime in this game. There's time enough for me to talk down in here as I sit here and auto attack. So all of these old multiplayer online games were kind of built like chat rooms with gameplay. And you also consider that a lot of people were going to be playing on kind of poor internet connections with high delays. Kind of like mine. So the nature of these games being slow was just kind of part of it. Poison keeping me from resting. Now, the thing about Final Fantasy XI. It was designed with its primary competitor to be EverQuest. So it used to a number of things the way EverQuest was doing them, including a rest button, like this. Part of why World of Warcraft blew open the markets when it arrived in the West was because it took a lot of strides beyond this design style. And in World of Warcraft was released like a year after this was in the West. They were linked within a year of each other. Exact data would have to look up again. And in all the Warcraft they accelerated the process by simply having your food items be your quick restores. Now, that said, as someone who does play mages on the older version of WoW, and casters in general, even if you do have restorative items, you will be spending a while still sitting down. So it's kind of just an archaic mechanic at the end of the day. I mean, I've played RUGs in which all your stats restore to full between fights, and that tends to create awkward meadows. Because it just incentivizes dropping your biggest stuff. It's very possible to get a hold of restorative items in this game, but are going to be like a mid-combat thing. You wouldn't have a use to spam them outside of combat, as they are quite expensive. I really wish it was easier to find these stupid flies. Once I finished his training regimen, I'm done with this place. That's not the spell I wanted to cast. Okay, there's a mayfly down there. I didn't like the look of which one of these debuffs cancel out each other, because I forget I might be messing myself up here. Please don't tell me this guy is going to come and mess me up. Stay away from me, bud. Here, let me run her up here. This has started to get a little bit sketchy than I would have liked. We'll see if we can pull it through, but this guy hurts a lot. Alright, that was a good heal. Tier 1 is not going to do very much. There we go. Very close fight. Why closer than I would have wanted. Just get out of here to safety. Most things in this game can be pretty lethal. I would need but 800 more experience points. That'd be about 3 more siblings. I might be able to run long enough to go ahead and get that done. But generally all of this downtime, spending like, chatting the folks. kind of like I'm doing now in a way. Why? Why? That we've got ourselves a bot, we banned it. It is worth mentioning the auto mod catches those bots now. I don't have to do that. It is entirely more actions to on the to allow. To allow the post to go through, then for me to ban the bot. But Jewel must be fed. Yeah, no, we're not messing with that. Zapling, let us battle. Hey, actually blinded it for once. Let's see if that actually helps, but... We must smite the bot. It is our reckoning to smite the bot. We have snow going on now. This is what you get when you have magical weather, I suppose. Didn't heal up between fights, so this one might be harder. I mean, it seems like the weather is currently ice or something. And so there's snow coming down, with the snowflakes coming around suggest as much. Come on, let's go. You have to consider how tough of a fight it is for us to beat this little tiny plant goober, but that should give you an idea of solo difficulty. I mean, also a tiny little bird was giving us immense amount of problems earlier, so... Okay, we only need a very tiny amount of experience points. Healing skill levels very nice. Skill ups are kind of random and slow. In this game, always like to see him go up. Loudest birds. Truly so loud. I just need to have a fight. One singular fights. Alright, the sapling youth shall be your final foe for level 24. Wow, that snow was short-lived. Trying to save and get a nice dramatic camera angle. I think I also just leveled up mid-combat. as we just gotta have mini achievement for taking damage. Not really doing that much damage. It is kind of adding more to the slow. Yeah, we did level up there. We're like so close to another level, though, because of that achievement we got. Total damage taken. Well, let's go fight one more thing, I guess. I can also put on our new gear. Well, some new style. We now get ponytail physics. I'm sure I can get some better gear in town now. I think chainmail is available. It's 21 defense. Stronger than this. There's not much else to be gained from the new player gear store. So the shade harness are curious for a little bit, but we've got some slots we can replace. We're doing much better in combat, though. I'm about to log off, so I don't really need that. Okay, I could go get chainmail from the Spark store. But there might be some decent magical gear at this level as well. There's also these fist weapons I can maybe start grinding up. That said, there's a lot of weapon skill to be gained there. It may be best to just go ahead and go to a Spark store. So I'll head back to the home city. I don't know if there's any good stuff right at this level, but I'll see. Okay, Auction House, please continue working. The sorting cest. Aim is not create. As I can easily search for something at my level. Here, there we go. They're going to have to scale down pretty far. Very funny. Glasses that reduce your hit rate at night cause their sunglasses. The hairpin's kind of decent. There's no armor on it is the thing you're asking for the evasion to carry you. Yeah, it's a bit too expensive for my taste. Wearable by everyone but me. How nice. In order to sort it, you have to wait for the load, everything bursts. Can I like scale to the bottom by like? Now, it'd be nice if I could. Alright, here's some stuff in here. I might already have those. Yeah, nothing good in the gloves section. Although those are nice gloves there. Yeah, we might be a little hard pressed to find anything particularly great. Equipment to 29. Yeah, we can wear that. You said this sat right here at 29. The very good set for us to finally have. For the time being, we'll go ahead and invest in the chainmail. There's like 6 more defense than the trousers we're wearing, so it's probably worth it at that point. Let me go ahead and travel to a house. Yeah, once I can get that actual plate mail at level 29, we'll be in a pretty good shape. The defense on that will be very nice. The addition of these extra storage spaces is so nice, because you can see how much space you have taken up by just your armor alone. I think I can afford to lose 1 strength, as long as the fire weather is not active, because that defense is probably better. Custom gloves will probably outmatch the mittens here. I need to get the panther mantle at some point. Alright, well, we've officially got some more style and clothing. Shadow. Hopefully make us pretty tanky. I'm gonna work on logging out here, and I'll see if I can transfer you on over to someone else. Thank you all for stopping by. I know it was probably a very slow stream. With more than enough technical issues. But you know, not every stream is perfect. Let us drop you on by Ben Ben. Because I don't ever get the drop by her very often. Alright, good night everyone.